Hey everybody, Mark Tyndall here, and this week at the service we announced some really huge news. Kathy and Caleb Maskell are going to be transitioning to Denver, Colorado for two different God-ordained reasons, and we wanted to give them a little bit more time to really explain what's going on. So maybe Caleb, if you could tell us a little bit about your new job. I know you're working now for the Vineyard USA. Tell us all about that. What's behind it? What's Vineyard trying to do?
Yeah. So when I graduated, with my PhD in the summer last year, I started working for Vineyard USA on a project that's been percolating for a while, but essentially it's trying to sort out how we should approach education and training for Vineyard pastors and leaders, from really the small group leader level, which is more of like an equipping type thing, all the way up to pastors and leaders who are going to plant churches between now and into the foreseeable future.
We have to.
Yeah, and what we need to learn how to do as a movement is really distill our ethos, our identity, our theology, our practices in ways that people can translate into their current contexts, right? It's really, John Wimber used to talk about take the best and go. John Wimber was the early founder of the Vineyard. We got so much in that early era, but what does it look like to see it move forward for new generations? So I've been working on that project, essentially really in the first phase, just the discovery. What's the best that's out there and how might we do that? And then over the next several years, we're looking at an implementation of that work. And so there are several benchmarks between here and getting it done, but that's what I've been putting my time towards since I graduated. Well, and a lot of that work is also connected to some reorganization that Vineyard USA.
I was going to say, it grew as you started working on it. Didn't it kind of like, if we do this, then what if we did this kind of?
Well, yeah, there are some things which at the structural level for Vineyard USA need to also grow and develop if we're going to become articulate about our ethos and our identity. And so I've actually been asked to lead a team, to co-lead a team. Jay Pathak from Mile High Vineyard and I are co-leading a team, which we're calling creatively the reorganization team, which is...
How'd you come up with that?
I know, we had a focus group and so on. The reorganization team, which is working hand in hand with the executive team of Vineyard USA, just to develop some potential solutions for how we might be better organized for moving into the next season of the life of our movement. So that's what I've been up to, and that's what's led me into deeper relationship with Jay Pathak, who's been a very good friend for a decade or more. We've done a lot of things together, but right now in this season, we're working together in a very intentional and gratifying
What
way.
A great guy too. I love that guy.
A lovely guy. A good friend of yours, of course.
Yep. And Kathy, something came up along the way here that's news for you, or at least the next step for you, and I'd love to hear about that.
Yeah, it's so funny, just with Caleb and Jay working to lead the reorganization team, their work is in relationship to the executive team. So for me, serving on the executive team has also made me very deeply invested in the work of this reorg team going as well as possible. And I wish I could say that I was exaggerating, but sometimes Caleb and Jay are talking 5 times a day. And so it really did get us thinking, like, I wonder if this does dovetail with not only the questions that we've been asking about, like where might be a great place to experiment, to pilot some kind of theological learning laboratory for the education work that Caleb's been asked to do. But now the fact that this reorg work has kind of come to the top of that list, and in the midst of that, my own discernment of a sense of possible different assignment. I have been wondering, as you know, Mark, in our conversations, is the Lord maybe calling me to want to explore church planting again, or something else? And so when Jay invited me to consider this lead pastor position of East Denver Vineyard. It's kind of interesting. It's a church plant. It's 2 years old. It's about 80 people, but it's also a part of this larger network that Mile High Vineyard has built in the Denver area, which kind of hits a sweet spot for me too, in terms of kind of thinking on a larger system structure level, but also entrepreneuring and pioneering a local church and with one group of people. And so I'm pretty excited about being able to grow in both of those ways in Denver.
Well, definitely we're going to miss you here. My heart is torn in both ways on this, because I'm so excited about the project. I love what Mile High Vineyard's doing. I love that the Vineyard is just continually saying, how do we keep improving? And I know Caleb will be great at that part. I'm just excited about this. As much as it's going to be sad to lose you guys, I'm pretty excited about what you're doing. And it gives me a lot of hope for the future of the Vineyard, actually. So we're glad about that. How are the kids doing in all of this? Are they looking forward to it, or is it just sort of abstract to them now?
They are figuring out how to look forward to it, especially JoJo. And I would just love to invite our church to just pray for us. There's a few things we would love prayer for, and certainly that this transition would be one where Josiah and Emmy would thrive. We even received a couple of prophetic words that would happen, which was the kind of confirmation that we were seeking, that we were making such a huge move, but making a right move in that way. And we would love your prayers in the Lord leading us to a new home of hospitality. That's how I've been praying about it. A place where we can host, where we can gather, and also maybe try out some of these education laboratory ideas.
So exciting. When do you think this is all going to be happening? Help us understand that.
Yeah, so God willing, the plan is for us to move sometime in July, probably mid to late July, and I would start my new role with East Denver Vineyard August 1st. And Caleb would continue his work.
Yeah, for me, I'm kind of already doing what I'm going to be doing. It's a weird moment, right? With you can't tour a house in Denver right now. So we'll see how things shape up, but we imagine that it's going to be all kind of very much in motion in the next couple of months.
Yeah. Well, we've still got time to say goodbye, and of course we'll do what we can to celebrate your ministry and lives here. A lot of people love you here, and you'll always be family here for sure. But for now, we'll sign off and look forward to ways to bless you and pray for you. We're right behind you. Okay, I think, folks, this is the Lord, and that's one of the things I know about the Lord is He teaches you how to love people, and then He moves the people around too, and that's how the best stuff spreads. So bless you guys. Thanks for taking the time to share with the family what's going on.
Yeah. We love this church. We love our church, and we're excited to be sent out from Blue Root Vineyard.
Totally. This church will always be in our heart.
Yeah.